Funayurei, the ghosts of the drowned. Japan is a nation surrounded by the sea, and its waters hold countless mysteries. Among the most feared are the Funayurei, vengeful spirits of those who perished in shipwrecks, accidents, or were lost at sea. Unlike ordinary ghosts, these spectral beings are said to haunt the ocean itself, appearing on foggy nights to drag the living into the depths. Many sailors and fishermen fear these restless souls, believing that an encounter with them is a harbinger of disaster. The legend of Funayurei. Throughout history, sailors have reported seeing phantom figures emerging from the water, their wet hair clinging to their pale, lifeless faces. These ghosts often appear floating just above the waves, their eyes empty yet full of sorrow. Some take the form of lone spirits, while others are said to manifest as entire ghost ships, drifting silently across the horizon before vanishing into the mist. Unlike other supernatural beings, Funayurei are not passive apparitions. They are vengeful and filled with resentment. Many of them died suddenly in shipwrecks or were abandoned in storms, leaving their souls trapped between the world of the living and the dead. They seek revenge on the living, trying to capsize boats, summon deadly storms, and pull unsuspecting sailors into the sea. In some versions of the legend, Funayurei call out to passing ships, pretending to be drowning victims. If a kind-hearted sailor tries to rescue them, the ghostly figure lunges forward, pulling them into the abyss. Others appear suddenly beside boats, clawing at the hull, demanding offerings or sacrifices to appease their endless suffering. A sailor's haunting encounter. One of the most famous Funayurei stories comes from a group of fishermen who set sail on a clear night, only to encounter a thick, unnatural fog in the middle of the ocean. As they rowed forward, a faint light flickered in the distance, a floating lantern with no visible source. Curious but cautious, the sailors approached, only for a woman's voice to echo across the waves. "Help me, please." Looking over the side, one fisherman gasped. There, just beneath the surface, was a woman with long, black hair, her pale face staring up at him. Her lips moved as if whispering something, but the words were muffled by the water. Suddenly, the boat lurched violently, and several hands shot up from the sea, gripping the wooden edges. The fishermen screamed as cold, ghostly fingers wrapped around their arms, pulling them toward the abyss. Remembering an old superstition, one of the men grabbed a bucket and began scooping water out of the boat, desperately throwing it back into the sea. The others followed, chanting prayers as they worked. The ghosts let out an eerie wail, their faces contorted in anger, before vanishing into the mist. The fishermen returned to shore at dawn, their boat mysteriously lighter, as if something had been weighing them down the entire night. How to protect yourself from Funayurei. Sailors have developed several methods of defense against Funayurei over the centuries. Carrying a bottomless bucket, Funayurei are said to ask for a hishaku, wooden ladle, to scoop water into the boat, trying to sink it. By giving them a bucket with a hole in the bottom, sailors can trick the ghosts, as the water will never fill. Avoiding travel during Obon. The Obon festival is believed to be the time when spirits return to the land of the living. During this period, Funayurei are most active and dangerous. Many fishermen refuse to set sail at night during Obon, burning incense or offering prayers. Many sailors recite Buddhist sutras or light incense on their boats to ward off spirits before setting sail. Ignoring voices from the water. If you hear someone calling out for help while at sea, it is said that you must never respond, as it could be a Funayurei luring you to your doom. Despite these precautions, many mysterious disappearances at sea remain unexplained, and some say the spirits of the drowned still haunt the waves, searching for new victims. Signs of a Funayurei encounter. If you ever find yourself at sea and notice these signs, turn back immediately. An unnatural fog rolling in, despite clear weather. Eerie voices calling from the water. Floating lanterns appearing without any visible boats. A sudden, inexplicable chill in the air. A heavy sensation on your boat, as if something unseen is weighing it down. It is said that if you hear your name whispered on the wind, do not answer, for once a Funayurei notices you, it may never let you escape.